at a second step finish, which basically is the traditional way a person would do a layup off of one foot. But what I want to do is I want to add a little bit more detail to it so you understand some of the complexities that are involved in finishing at the basket. Now, when you look at something that's considered to be basic, when I add accountability, it will automatically become a little bit more game-like, or a better way of saying it, a little bit more advanced, because now your body has to fit into the confines of the method, or as it would have to, the confines of a game. Now, what I want you to understand when it comes to finishing at the basket, space and timing really is going to determine the finish and the footwork. And so if I'm taking a second step finish, that means that I've had time and space to be able to take the full 2 steps that are allotted to me in the game of basketball. Now, what I've done is I set up my footwork parameters to make sure that my feet are hitting the exact spots, and I'm using our footwork mats for that. If you don't have mats, of course, you can also use cones, but the mats do a great job of holding me accountable to exact space. I can really see and feel that space. And so right now, what I want to be able to do is be able to take my 2 steps on the mat. Now, if I'm going to take full 2 steps, that probably means I was driving off of just one dribble and I saw my space. That's the typical, predictable type of status that I would have if I had that space. It would be a 1 dribble drive. And so if I did a drop and a 1 dribble, my space will more likely be, when I'm going fast, be taking my first step in this space, followed by my second step in this space for my finish. And of course, I can move these mats around to challenge my space and challenge my feet, but I want to be able to understand that I need to be able to first control the space that I have available to me for the finish. And so I want to pick the basketball up in this space, and for right now I'm aiming for the circle, and then I'm taking my second step and I'm aiming for the circle for my finish as well. And so while this seems to be like a traditional 1 foot layup, and it is, I'm really getting used to how the space determines my relationship on the drive with my dribble, how much space I have to cover with my steps, and really how I can accurately predict the space that my feet will need to get to in the game. Because really the game requires adapting to space instantly. Your brain has to process that space, your feet have to step the appropriate distance, and you need to be able to be trained in a moment of time to adapt to that space instantly without having to think about it. So whenever you're doing something like this, if you catch yourself stuttering your feet, that means that you're really not equipped to adjust to the space that's required in the game at a moment. And so by placing these mats down, my brain and my body need to be able to immediately adapt. So when I go at a higher speed, I'm able to know exactly where my right foot needs to go, my left foot needs to go, or in this case, outside, inside. And so right now, if I drove at a little bit of a faster pace now, you'll be able to see how I'm able to predict exactly where my feet are going to need to go off of my 1 dribble drive. And so if I have my drive and my steps, I'm able to see exactly where those feet will be able to plant, and I'm able to adapt to that instantly without stuttering my feet. And so that's a second step finish. What I want you to do is move your locations in different places, adjust your space off of 1 dribble, going right and going left. And so I'm going to ask you to do this for a full 10 minutes. You can get as many reps as you want in that, but really start exploring that space and exploring how well your feet can make those adjustments for your finish.